Hello, I'm Archbishop Joseph Kurtz, Archbishop of Louisville, and I want to be able to join with so many of you in celebrating this year World Refugee Day. As many of you know, it was planned for the middle of June, and because of the pandemic restrictions, we are going to have the celebration, but we're going to do it virtually. And so this video is my effort to join with so many others to be part of that virtual celebration. The church, as you could imagine, has a great interest in helping those who are refugees, and not only helping them, but highlighting the gift that they bring. Church social teaching, of course, is very robust. We talk about the right of people to have a home. We talk about the right of people to be able to seek a better home if their circumstances are so dire. We also talk about the need for countries to have legitimate restrictions to safeguard all. So in the midst of that, in the midst of the complexity of it, you'd say, well, what exactly are we saying? Well, we're saying a couple of things. One is the dignity of every person is seen so clearly when we look at an individual or a family who is a refugee. And secondly, we are not made to be islands unto ourselves. We're made to live in community. And so our need to both receive people into our community and also to be enriched by them is so important. Let me tell you a little bit about my own experiences with serving and getting to know people who are refugees. And by the way, that's the key. The key is to see not in abstraction the issue of refugees or immigrants, but rather to see very specifically the face of a human being. And then we'll start to understand the advantage of dignity. So after I received my degree in social work in 1976, one of the first things I did, I was involved in Catholic Charities back in Pennsylvania in refugee assistance program. And I came to know especially many people who came from suffering in Vietnam. And that experience helped me later as a pastor in the 90s when refugees fled from their homeland in Bosnia. I was pastor of a church, back in Pennsylvania, that received 2 refugee families. We, as a community, learned a lot from people, but we also learned how dire their circumstances were and how much they desired for themselves and their families to live good lives. I did other things. I was on the board of Catholic Relief Services back in the mid-2000, 2005, 2008, in that area. And in that process, I had the privilege of traveling to both Ethiopia for the 50th anniversary of the presence of Catholic Relief Services there, and to Kenya. In those cases, I was able to see the plight of people and sometimes the need for people to seek another homeland. Later, had the privilege of going to Haiti in 2015. I had been to Haiti earlier in 2002 as part of our parish programs in the Diocese of Knoxville. And I saw the plight of people who were often in very dire situations. I went to the Philippines in 2013 after Yolanda struck and saw the plight of people whose lives were destroyed. I went also in 2015 to Ukraine and saw many of the plight that occurred because of war and the ravages of war and the oppression that came from that. And finally, I had the wonderful occasion to visit Vietnam in 2016. These were all occasions for me to broaden my horizon and to understand more clearly the work of Catholic Charities and so many groups that are reaching out to support refugees and to highlight the gift that a refugee individual and family brings to the new community. Thank you for joining with me in celebrating this World Refugee Day. We need your help more than ever. We need your understanding and support. Remember the key. the dignity of real people, and secondly, the contribution of real people who often are in terrible situations to contribute to a new community. It's with that spirit that I celebrate with you a Refugee Week and ask your continued prayers, blessings, and cooperation. God love you.